Hey miners, I'm Emmanuel Rivas Valenzuela, and I'll be talking about the first two episodes of My Adventures with Superman on Adult Swim. It's no secret really that Superman has become such a heavy staple in pop culture, from movies to TV shows and comics. Previous iterations of the character have taken Superman in a number of directions, from high school to fatherhood, and making him evil a lot, maybe too much. Now don't get me wrong, I love a good evil Superman story, most of the time. But I mean, it really feels like the stories are becoming the norm, at least in the mainstream. However, when news that Superman Legacy director James Gunn was drawing inspiration from Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman run, I really couldn't help but be excited, because it's a much lighter and optimistic take on the character. An issue I've had with the character in the past is that it's just hard for him to feel compelling. When you have a character who's too fast and too strong for most of his villains and most of his issues, it's hard to resonate with that character. But I do prefer stories where Superman is at a disadvantage. That is why characters like Spider-Man resonate so well, because we get to see both the heroic actions of the Wallcrawler along with the everyday troubles of Peter Parker. That seems to be where My Adventures with Superman is headed, as we don't see Clark Kent wear the iconic Superman suit in the first episode, because we are first introduced to a brand new Daily Planet intern, Clark Kent. Moving on to the voice cast, I gotta say, no one gives a flat performance. I really liked every casting decision they made. The show's main characters are Clark, naturally, but also Lois and Jimmy Olsen. Clark is voiced by The Boys' own Jack Quaid, and I'll be honest, I was very skeptical at the choice. I was really expecting to only hear his character from The Boys, Huey, but there's something yet about his dorky yet charismatic performance that really fit Clark really well. And of course, his Superman voices really well. It's hard to judge it at the moment because I've only seen the first two episodes, and he was a Superman for all of maybe 3 minutes in the second episode. But from what I've heard, it's a good voice. So Lois is voiced by Alice Lee from Zoe's Extraordinary playlist on NBC. And I'll be 100% honest, I've never seen the show. I'm sure it's fine, but I can't say much about it. But Lee's performance in this show is extraordinary. She's really energetic and go-getting, something that Lois Lane really needs to be, at least if you're looking at the source material. I'll get into the character a bit more later, but she's not a direct superior to Clark, as in other forms of media she would be. They're all interns, which I really appreciate, at the Daily Planet. Another great casting decision that caught me off guard was Ismail Saheed as Jimmy Olsen. I'm not really familiar with Saheed's work until I noticed he was in Jury Duty, the Amazon freebie show where they fake a jury duty, and he was really good in that show, at least from the episodes I've seen. He's one of the standout characters there, so I was shocked to find him when I was researching this video. Now, episode 1 opens up with a really young Clark Kent. He's growing up. I'd say he's probably no more than 10 years old. And we see him trying to get a kite out of a tree, and I thought that was really sweet. He starts discovering his powers, and then we get a moment where he's in the sky and he looks down and he asks himself, who am I? Which it seems to be where the show is headed. It's a simple story, but if it's done well, it's going to be a good story. And then we see Clark wake up. He's roommates with Jimmy Olsen in this, and I really like that. And so they're getting ready the first day as interns at the Daily Planet. Clark goes out for a run. He saves a cat, which I thought was really sweet. But yeah, he goes and he meets Lois at a store. The main villain for these two episodes is Leslie Willis. For those of you that know, that's Livewire. She's stealing some tech, nothing too forward yet. We don't know a lot about what she's stealing in this episode. There's a lot of journalism things, which as a journalism major, I can't help but like. There, at some point, Lois and Clark, they get separated because of some argument. They go their separate ways. Lois and Jimmy, they go look for the robots, the tech that went missing. And then they get attacked by the robot. Someone let one of the robots loose, and so they're attacking. And then Superman finds out, and he heads over. And he tries to stop them. He's not Superman yet because he doesn't have the suit. He's definitely more of a guy in a coat, just trying to do the right thing, I guess, trying to save his friend. And so he fights. There's a little suit up sequence in the second episode that this fight alludes to. So I thought that was really nice. The action is great. I mean, the flow of the show, how they decided to go about the action, I really enjoyed. It's just great overall. There's not much to knock about it, to be honest. This show looks incredible. It really does. Now, in the fight, Superman isn't really Superman yet. Like I said earlier, he's not as strong as he could be. And so he does get thrown around by the robots a bit. It's a hill for him to climb over instead of him just completely plowing through it. And so once Clark is done fighting, we kind of get that same clip where we got at the beginning of the episode with the young Clark. And he's kind of just flying in the sky. He's really feeling himself after the fight. He kind of stops too, and he again asks, "Who am I?" That question gets a little more developed in the second episode, and I'm sure it's going to keep developing throughout. The whole reason they went on the mission was to get Lois a byline, a story out for the planet. Jimmy kind of messes up. He takes really bad photos. They're all really blurry, and I thought that was really funny. But overall, just a really good open to the show, a really fun start to these characters. So, hey everyone, so this is editing Emmanuel, and I realize I've gotten really over on time. And so, I mean, if you want to watch the rest of my review for part 2 as well, just visit my YouTube channel. I'll link it on screen here. But yeah, feel free to watch it. It'll probably be on my Instagram too, right here. So yeah, feel free to go watch it if this interests you. And yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm not sure how to end this. Yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the Prospector YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll make more of these videos. But for now, it's been something. Take care. Bye.